Welcome, Coven Members, and welcome back to a reading wrap-up. We're going to be talking about the books that we read in November. How many books did you read?
6.
That's awesome because I only read 2.
Slacker.
Alchemized really messed me up.
And honestly, like, the holidays, it's just been
Mhm.
and winter came, like, so early for us.
It did.
I think that's really what has been my problem, it's just so cold.
Exactly. I've been watching TV willingly on my own time. That doesn't happen.
You know what? I feel like I have too.
Yeah.
And also the new Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. We
Had
haven't even
to.
got to it yet. I know. Well, we tried to watch Has Been Hotel,
Mm.
which is one of our favorites. So, like, that, was a slow go. And now we're doing The Mighty Nine. And we finally caught up with that literally today. So it's like a lot of stuff has come out. And we're just like, no time.
N I know.
Yeah.
We need to, like, stop working.
Absolutely.
First book I read was Bonds of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. This is the second book in the Villains of Lore series. And I really enjoyed the first book. So it's Greek mythology, if you couldn't guess by the name of Hercules. Uh, but I listened to the audiobook on both of these because a lot of mixed reviews were coming in on like how the first book read like fanfic, and so but people that listened to the audiobook they loved, and I really did enjoy. I was laughing throughout the whole entire book, and so I was really pumped for this one. I have to say, it was kind of a letdown.
Aw, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You were excited for this
I
one.
was very pumped.
Yeah.
So the like kind of the tropes with it was like why choose and the ending of the first book it kind of made you feel like maybe between not only 2, but it could be 4, and you were really pumped to learn more about that potential relationship growing, and it just kind of fell flat. A lot of hype for a whole bunch of nothing. In the second book, it continues following Alexis, who is our FMC. Then we have 4 MMCs: Augustus, Patro, Achilles, and Charon. So what I did appreciate about this book is that we did learn more about their powers. Achilles' power is so cool, but everybody else's is just kind of like meh. Another trope is that it's like a trial based story.
Mhm.
And so they go through all of those, and then that's where you get to see everybody's potential. The build up and the tension between the FMC and then her love interest was through the majority of this book as well as the first one. And so then when that moment happened, I was just like, that's it. And I love a good enemies to lovers, and they definitely were enemies to lovers, and so, like, whenever that tension just breaks, it's just, like, so rewarding, but this one was just kind of, like, all that tension and all that buildup just to wrap it up in, like, I feel like 3 sentences. It wasn't 3 sentences, that's dramatic, but it was done and over with, and I'm like, "I thought you were guys were gods."
Do you think that you will continue with the series, or are you done?
I think I'm done. I will say, read the first book because it was really good. I guess it also depends if you're okay with reading like because it does read very different than any other book I have ever read.
Mm.
It does read very fanfic, which if you're okay with that is fine. Listening to it, I feel was a lot more helpful.
I read A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Poranek, which was also our book club book for November and
Lindsay's pick.
my pick.
Yeah.
So super exciting. As you guys know, Where the Dark Stands Still, which is her other book that she published, was a 5-star read for me. This unfortunately was not a 5-star read. I still loved it. It was still good. So, I mean, it is a Swan Lake retelling. Magic has disappeared from the kingdom, but there are still sorcerers with magic.
Mhm.
And the the easiest way to tell is if their blood is gold instead of red.
Hmm.
And so, but you don't want to be found out as a sorcerer because it's gone, but it's also kind of outlawed too in a sense. But anyways, Odile and her father, they work at the theater, and basically they have this master plan to get this relic from the crown, which is supposed to hold a bunch of magic to release magic back into the world. And so the way that they're going to do this is an old childhood friend of Odile's, who is Marie. They who's supposed to be in the running to marry the prince, the Dauphin. She might potentially marry the Dauphin, who is the prince. And so they turn Marie into a swan, and Odile looks like Marie, and it goes with that. It's a big mystery
Mhm.
book. I love fantasy books, or like at the core they're mystery books, but then they have like fantasy overlay of
Mhm.
it, and this was definitely that. I would say the first half of it is a little bit slower, so just kind of like you're just gathering all the information. You're kind of getting your cast of characters for like the who done it and where did this person go and all that jazz. But then, like, something happens and you'll know what the something is. You
I don't
haven't
know.
you
I don't
haven't
know.
gotten there yet, but when something happens, I would say it's roughly 50% through the book, then you aren't gonna wanna put it down. It's good. It's a nice, solid, sapphic YA book.
Mhm.
I really liked it. Still kinda like creepy gothic vibes. Definitely more like Victorian gothic vibes, whereas like where the Dark Standstill was more like witchy gothic vibes.
Yeah. This gave me vibes of almost like Bury Our Bones
Yeah.
with yeah, Marie.
Mhm. Yep.
Definitely.
I want Amy Pornick to write an adult novel so bad.
Is she going to?
I don't know. She's working on her 3rd book right now,
Uh-huh.
and she's been posting teasers about it.
I've seen that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If you just want a nice read, wanna learn some French,
Bonne nuit.
yeah, yeah.
That's a good night.
Yeah. I did kind of immersive read it. I listened to the audiobook because after I read the first couple chapters, I'm like, I want to know how some of these words are pronounced. I do not know. So, audiobook was good. Reading it was good.
Wait, so did you immersive read it or
I like partially did.
did you okay, so have you noticed that, like, the audiobook is different than the book? It
Yes.
trips me up. I'm
Yes.
like
Oh, yeah.
sometimes it's, like, full on sentences it leaves out, and I'm like,
Yes.
"Where am I at?" Then I have to, like, rewind it back and listen to it again because 'cause I'm like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm at.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's almost like a book that, like, you really don't wanna immersive read because it
Yeah.
can trip you up.
Yeah. If you wanna listen to if you have some, like, Spotify and you wanna listen to, like, a chapter or 2 to get some of the pronunciations, if that even matters to you,
Mhm.
call the dolphin a dolphin because that's kinda what I did at first because it kinda looks like dolphin.
Yeah. I opened it and then saw the a glossary for the names, and I was like, "Oh."
There is a glossary of names and who they are and kinda what their relations are, which, oh, I appreciated that so much, and there's a
Yeah.
map too. I don't think this book needed a map, but it was nice to have a map.
I love a book with a map.
Mhm.
Even if I don't really ever look at the maps,
Mhm.
when you need them, you need them.
Yes, for
So,
sure.
they're important. We
Yeah.
appreciate maps, authors.
Mhm. And this is something too this first off, the cover is absolutely stunning.
Stunning.
When I bought this book, it was solely on cover vibes. I didn't know anything about this book. I hadn't read Where the Dark Stand Still, anything like that. And there are so many small details in this cover that make so much more sense after you read the book. I'm just like, "Oh, like these 2 chicks, like they look kind of cool." But then when you finish it, cuz Sarah hasn't finished it yet.
Mm-mm.
When you finish it, you're going to look back and be like, "Oh, that's why that's there. Oh, that's why this is there. Oh, that is that." It's cool. I love when that happens for the cover.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like little golden eggs or
Yes.
Easter eggs, sorry.
Yeah, the Poppy War books, the special edition covers did the exact same thing.
Oh.
Even the regular ones, like, I felt like after I read those and I looked back at the cover, I'm like, "All of this makes so much sense, so
Mhm.
much more sense." So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
It's like you're still getting to experience the book
Yeah,
even when you're done.
for sure.
Mhm.
I don't think I had her on my auto buy author list, but she definitely is.
She's there
She's
now.
there now,
Yeah.
for sure, and I will be the first one to buy the 3rd book, hopefully comes out next year.
So you're gonna continue reading her.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. She's a phenomenal writer.
Mhm.
She speaks my language.
Mhm.
And I love her endings. Her endings are so unique.
Really?
Yes, I love the endings to both of her books.
Oh, that makes me excited. So another book that I read was actually an arc. It was The Midnight Sovereign by K.N. Murphy. Now this book is really enjoyed. It was very whimsical, different from a lot of other fantasy books that I have read lately, which I liked. However, it was a tad bit slow. Midnight Sovereign follows our FMC who is half Fae, and she doesn't really have a lot of family. Actually, she has no family. Scratch that. She was picked up at an orphanage to take over to be the Midnight Sovereign whenever the current one decided to retire or, just wanted to move on. However, the current Midnight Sovereign ended up passing away. So she had to take on to that role pretty quickly. The current Midnight Sovereign didn't really give her a lot of like guidance, and it come to find out like she learns that the past several of them haven't really taken on the duties of like the actual Midnight Sovereign. So she's like, I have really no idea what to do except for just be the Midnight Sovereign. And that role is to just make sure that you keep all the history of this land, to be a neutral party between all the surrounding areas. Then you can also go to the island where the Midnight Sovereign is and strike a bargain with them, and they would help you with whatever bargain that you wanted. But no one would come, or no one had been there in a long time. So she's like, I want people to like come to me and like, actually I want to have a purpose. And so it just follows our FMC through figuring out how to be the Midnight Sovereign. There's a lot of twists and a lot of lies going on. So she does have a love interest, which this is a friends to lovers trope,
Mm.
which isn't always my favorite because I like a little tension rather than just like,
Mm.
oh, we're friends and now we love each other. But
Mhm.
I did enjoy this one because he had a lot of secrets that he was withholding from her as well. So there was that aspect of their relationship that they had to navigate as well. And what I did love too, the island that she was on had a cat, and it gave me vibes of the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Aw, Salem?
Yes,
That's
Salem.
awesome.
Yeah, it was totally Salem vibes, and I was there for that. And he was so cute. He like helped her figure it out. He was like, "I've been here, but nobody like the past several Midnight Sovereigns didn't want my help, so they banished me." I know,
Aw.
right? Just a poor little cat. It's definitely a slow-paced fantasy rather than the like usual fast pace that I feel like I'm used to.
Mm.
So that made it hard for me to get through, although I really did enjoy it. And I think a lot of people would if
Mhm.
you're okay with just kind of like a slower, not as action packed kind of fantasy. Next book I read was Wolf by Paisley Hope. This is a biker romance, which I was totally here for because I'm like, ooh, bikers are usually typically kind of moody and grumpy, and that is definitely Wolf.
Mhm.
Our FMC is Brinley, and she's definitely your girl next door, never does anything wrong. Everything she it's like, I follow the rules. I'm a good girl, right? And so she is dating this guy who is uh, trying to become, like, I think, like, an attorney or something like that. He doesn't matter. But he's a jerk, and, she's like, "I'm over this." And so she goes back home and lives in her parents' old house and tries to make a name for herself, and then she gets introduced to Wolf and his biker gang, and it just follows their relationship, and I was excited for her to, like, do all these kind of quote unquote bad things. This gave me Sandra D from Grease. I was literally feeling Grease vibes. And then at one point, there was a character that called her Sandra D. And I was like, okay, so maybe this was meant to be like that.
Mhm.
But I hated that. I'm sorry. I hated it.
Why did you hate that?
I don't know. It just made me feel like it was like not ripped off, but it just wasn't I don't know. It didn't feel unique. It
Mm,
felt like I was watching Grease in a sense,
mm,
but reading it, you know?
yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of boring. And then I was hoping for a lot of tension between Brinley and Wolf. And it was like, oh, I see you. He looks mean. Then I love you. I'm not that big into insta love. I feel like it's boring. So again, like with those two aspects of it, of just like, oh, I've seen Grease. I know how this works. And that's kind of how it worked. Now, I do love Wolf. He is definitely grumpy, and there are a lot of other things that are going on in this book. There's a lot of betrayals. There's trying to figure out who is kind of a snake in a sense. There's like biker rivalry going on.
Just wasn't for you.
It just wasn't for me. I think if it was more like tension between the love interests, I would have been more on board. But if the next book, I believe it's called Dove, don't quote me on that. If it's about her best friend, I'm kind of here for it because she seems a little wild and she seems a lot more fun.
I read The Wrath and the Fallen by Amber V. Nicole. It is the fourth book in the Gods and Monsters series. It just came out this year, so I am now officially completely caught up with the series. And this was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. My favorite still is Throne of Broken Gods, but this one was just right behind it. One thing too that I can appreciate about the series is that the tone of characters is the same. And what I mean by that is like I said this because I did a reading vlog of this and a full review with non-spoilers and spoilers. Diana is the same person. Like her personality doesn't change. There is character development, there is
Mm-hmm.
character growth, but like Amber V. Nicole knows who Diana is. She
Mm-hmm.
knows who Sam Keel is and like where their motivations are. Yeah, this series is just so good. It's so solid.
Mm-hmm.
None of them have quite been 5 stars for me yet. There's always just been something that's a me thing.
What happened in the first book? The first book was solid.
It was very solid.
It was a 5-star for me.
Was it?
Yeah.
If it's over 4, then I loved it. I
Mm-hmm.
loved this book. I think everyone should go read it. I think that you maybe need to be a little bit more of an advanced fantasy reader to
Mm-hmm.
read it, like with how in depth we're getting, and because now the world is really opening up. There's a lot more aspects, a lot more different species of things, like different, yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
On top of it already having a lot.
It does
Like,
already have a
even
lot,
in the
yeah.
first book, there's a lot going on.
Yes, but it's not so much that it bogs you down.
Mm.
There are multiple things going on, but the characters are very focused in what they're doing. Now, are there times that they're doing one thing and I'm like, "Hey, like, don't forget this," or like, "Y'all are having a moment, like, should y'all be worrying about this?"
Don't you have, like, a couple problems going on?
Yeah, but I also understand it can't be balls to the wall all the time. I guess it could, but I feel like slowing down every once in a while is good for me as
Yeah,
a reader,
a
you know?
little digest so you can understand because like the Throne of Broken Gods literally just 0 to 60
Mhm.
in like no time. It just
Exactly.
picks up and then
Yes.
is full of so much action.
Yes, for sure. And I mean, this one definitely has a lot of action too. I guess if I did have some like minor, so minor complaints. One is like Samuel and Diana are supposed to be like the most powerful. And sometimes I feel like they get beat up a little bit too easy. I'm kind of like, come on, do it. Like, show us what you got, you know?
But I kinda like that too. You're kinda tapping into Rhysand and Farah energy where I feel like they're, like, almost too powerful and, like, nothing can happen to them, and you're
Yeah.
just kinda, like, no matter what, that they're fine. Like, even if they're like, "Oh my gosh, he almost died," and then it's like, "No, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't."
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know? So I
Mm-hmm.
kinda like that they seem a little bit more fragile. Now if anything happens to them, we riot, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Sam Keel. And Diana, I love her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's great FMC.
Amazing.
Mhm.
One of the best FMCs. She
Yeah.
does not get enough credit. The other thing is not a complaint that I have, but I've seen a lot of people complain about, and I just want to address it. A lot of people have been saying that like Diana and Sam Keel as a like couple is a little too much in this book.
Too much, like, physically?
Actually, no, just like their like undying love for each other, the confessionals and everything. However, once you finish this book and know how it ends, I feel like there's a reason for it.
I wanna know, but I don't wanna know. I
You
can't
don't want to
yeah.
know until you read it yourself.
Mhm.
So I feel like your complaint is valid, but I also think that there's a reason for it.
There's 3 more books coming. So, I feel like sometimes people get, like, ahead of themselves, and I do it too, like, don't get me wrong. I'm like,
Mhm.
"This doesn't make any sense," like, Onyx Storm. I sometimes have to sit back and be like, "There's a reason for this. Just be
Mhm.
patient."
I don't have to necessarily know what tropes are before I go into a book. I know a lot of people do. I know you really enjoy knowing what tropes are.
Oh, I do like knowing what tropes are, but it doesn't well, never mind. I lie. It does. I'm a
But
liar.
there is one of my favorite tropes in this book, and there's one of my least favorite tropes in this book.
Ooh, can I know?
I mean, you can, but the one of my least favorite tropes kind of tells you what happens at the end.
Oh,
So I'll tell you what my favorite trope is, though, because it happens pretty early in the book.
what?
Possession.
Oh,
I don't know why I like that so much.
because
I think
like
that's why I like One Dark Window so much because like he's in her head.
mhm.
I don't know. It's just I just like it.
I don't disagree.
I feel like it's a micro trope. Not possession as in like you're my mate, but like I'm taking your body. I'm in your head. Yeah, that kind of jazz.
Oh.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's interesting.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't see that one coming. Next book that I read was Ripborn by Bree Greenwich and Parker Lennox. This is the first book in the Spirian trilogy. So this book follows our FMC Fia, who is cast as a rebellion after a huge war, like 20 years prior. And so anybody with magic is kind of shamed or like hidden, and you don't want to be known that you have magic. However, she can't keep her powers hidden, and come to find out, a general comes for her because he sees her do magic on 2 girls that she almost ends up you know,
Mhm.
but he saves her, so everything is good. General Ashford comes after Fia and is like, I'm going to keep your secret, but you need to learn how to use your powers, and you're going to come and learn them while you're in the military of the people that made her an outcast. So she is now working for the enemy.
Mm.
And she has to because this is the only way that she's gonna learn how to use her magic and get control of it. And she's actually super powerful and she can do a lot of damage. So she's like, all right, this is gonna be a good idea. This book does get a little bit slow, but I think that it is going to be worth it because the magic system is just different. And this is like a romantasy start off that doesn't feel like copy paste. It's not something that I've read in a long time. It just, I don't know, it's giving me good vibes of like when I started reading Akatar.
Mm.
Yeah. Although looking back, I'm like, Akatar probably isn't my favorite book anymore, but it will always be a favorite of mine just because it got me into reading again and romantasy. And this book is kind of giving me those vibes of just being excited about a romantasy again.
Mm.
So I'm excited to read Dustbound, and Rumblade is coming out next year. Then you also have a spinoff from it that's a standalone, The Ascended, that came out earlier this year. I am so pumped. I hear that it ends on a huge cliffhanger. Shocker, right? But I hear that the second book is just wild.
Is the book that's coming out next year, is that gonna finish this series?
Mhm.
So The Ascended, is that its own series or it was just kind of like an additional?
It's part of that world, but so you could read it on its own, but I think that it is definitely one of those if you want more of like the emotional connection to the characters, read Riftborn, Dustbound, The Ascended, then read Rumblade whenever it comes out, you know.
Mhm.
But again, enemies to lovers. But the General Ashford is our MMC. I wish that he was just a little bit more in the book to really build up that tension. That one it's an enemies to lovers, but the tension wasn't as much as I wanted. It was almost like insta love,
Mm.
but not. It's not. But I coulda just used a little bit more because I mean, obviously, he's in the military, so he's gone a lot. So, I wish I could have gotten to know him a little bit more. That would be my only not my only critique about it, but it is probably my biggest critique is that I wish the MMC was in the book a little bit more to get to know him better. Last book that I read in November was Brimstone by Callie Hart. This was such an anticipated read for me because of how much I loved Quicksilver.
Mm.
I love Kingfisher and Saris. Again, I feel like it kind of gives me vibes of Sand and Farah,
Mhm.
but how much I love Carrion from the first book alone that I was just so I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved Quicksilver, but to get more of Carrion, because he totally shook me and Quicksilver with his twists. I was like, I did not see that coming. Did you see it coming?
No, not really.
I feel like you hate admitting that.
No, I mean, I guess I knew something was up, but I didn't think it was that.
Yeah. Don't want to give
the
any
the
spoilers.
the gravity who
He is.
who he is was not on my bingo card.
It was not on my bingo card either. I just thought that he was some like dumb guy that was funny.
I'm almost done with it.
She's close.
So close. I have like 150 pages left, and then
The
I'll be done.
Yeah, the last like 8 chapters in this book is wild. So wild, I like couldn't put it down. At the end of it, I have a lot of questions, and I feel like a lot of people have a lot of questions. That has been one of the biggest things that has bothered me, but I'm trying to look at it as maybe this is meant to be, but there's a lot of inconsistencies in this
Ooh.
book.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have been seeing things about the editing.
Yes, that is very concerning.
I was immersive reading it literally today, and and the audiobook said Sans Roth and the book said Yuvelia. And I'm like, which one are we talking about here?
Mhm. Yeah, something about how she said that, like, the edits that she did, they didn't update it.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, that is wild to me that, like, for such a big book, right, to, like, have that big of a mess up, that's kind of so sad.
Yeah.
Um, there's some other things that I don't want to say because you haven't finished, but I have a lot of questions. But she did say that, like, some of them are meant to be there. They will be explained later. So it's kind of like, all right, so it has to be like a be patient thing. But it's just like the last chapter I read several times because I was like, this doesn't make sense. What is going on? So I'm hoping that like it will get resolved and questions will be answered. However, it's just we're gonna have to wait for a while. But I'm very scared that if it's just a mess up, I feel like it will kind of ruin the whole series for me. I loved it. And the banter between Karen and, and Kingfisher, I'm so here for that. They
Mhm.
were so funny. They were cracking me up. And
Mhm.
Onyx,
Yeah.
love
And the
that fox.
audiobook is spectacular.
Mhm.
So good. I wasn't able to listen to the first one because like I got it kind of right as it was building up popularity. Thank you for buying it for me.
Mhm.
And I think it was like a couple weeks after I finished it that they released the audiobook for it. So I'm glad I've gotten to experience that because the two narrators do such a good job.
Mhm.
Different accents and dialects, and is even though it's just the two of them, you can really tell the difference between the characters. They
Yeah.
do an amazing job.
An amazing job. Also, I did see or Callie did say that if you have not read Kingfisher's point of view, to read it before you read Brimstone. And I did not. Mainly because it will help explain a lot more about Kingfisher and where he comes from.
Did you read it after you finished it?
No, I haven't.
Gotcha. I've also heard that after you finish Brimstone, you're supposed to go to chapter 7, paragraph 7 of Quicksilver, and it helps explain the ending a little bit or bring something up. I'm not quite sure what. Obviously, I haven't finished it, so I don't know. But
I did that. And I don't understand.
oh, okay. So not worth it.
I didn't understand, but it has been such a long time since I read Quicksilver that maybe I need to like refresh a little bit.
I am enjoying being with the characters and reading about the characters because I feel like Callie Hart is a great character writer. But sometimes I felt like plot wise, things happen just for the sake of it happening,
Mhm.
more so than like it being a natural like progression of the story.
I can agree with that too. It was a different feel from the first book. But she did say that just like a lot happens in this book and it does. It just there's just so much that happens. I am definitely going to have to go back and probably reread this book, especially before the next book comes out because of the inconsistencies. I'm going to have to sit down and really like map or like go a little bit more into it and be like looking back and forth because I also immersive read so but like when I was driving I would just be listening to it.
Mhm.
There's a lot going on.
I would argue there's almost a little too much going on.
I would argue that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But Carrion and Kingfisher, I love
Yeah.
that. And the ending. What? What?
Well, and so I again going back to the characters, like so a lot of people don't like Frost and Starlight in Akatar.
I
But
loved
I
it.
loved it because it was just at that point you have loved the characters and you're just like hanging out with them a little bit more. Important stuff happens in that book too.
It does.
And the fact that Callie Hart was able to do this just by book 2, I'm like, I'm just happy to be here with the gang.
Yeah.
Like so like I guess to me this is kind of like I would almost categorize it as like a darker fantasy. Some pretty
Yeah.
intense stuff happens in this book, but I'm just vibing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
y'all do you.
She does
Mm,
categorize it as dark
does
fantasy.
she?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so but, I agree with that too, and then but it's just like you said, so much is going on, and then but the ending, like I said, like, it's a cliffhanger, and then it kinda is like, "What the heck just happened?" And that's confusing.
Okay. We are in our last month of reading in 2025.
What a good year.
It's been a good reading year. It's been a
Mhm,
good year.
mhm,
So we're gonna kind of rapid fire our TBR or hopefuls for December.
mhm.
And you have more than me because I'm taking it easy.
Yeah, I have a ton of books that I need to read. Am I going to read them all? Probably not, but there are some that I will definitely read because I'm one, have to, and two, I'm excited for. Now, the first one I am going to read and I'm excited for, and I have to. So, the first one I am going to read the Fates Compelling series. First book is A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly. The second book is A Promise So Bold and Broken. Third book is A Bond So Fierce and Fragile. Fourth book in the series, which is why I have to read them, is because I got an arc. Yay! This is one that I'm so excited for is A Fate So Dark and Delicate. I am pumped because I've been wanting to read this series, and then once I got this arc, I was like, "Yes, let's do it." I'm already, like, almost done with the first book. Again, this romantasy series I am pumped for. Again, it is not a copy and paste. It has some political aspects to it, a potential for 2 love interests that are enemies to lovers, so I'm loving that even more. Definitely some trials going on. I am I'm here for it. I love it already. And then the fact that like I'm going to be able to just read through the whole series. I'm I'm here. Yeah, I started it on Monday and I'm already almost done. I know,
Dang, look
which
at
I need to
you.
get the book club books done. But I it sunk its teeth in me. I was just like, I had to make a long drive and I was like, I'm just gonna listen to it on the drive. And then I continued because I couldn't stop.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it so much already. Hopefully, I've heard nothing but good things. Hopefully, it will continue to just be even better. I'll
Yeah.
report back.
Well, as we talked about earlier, Brimstone by Callie Hart. I'm
Mhm.
almost done with it. I cannot wait to see what this incredible ending is.
I guess I wouldn't say that it's like incredible. I would just say that it's like I was not expecting that.
Mhm.
One, I can't talk to you about it because I don't want to like have any like spoilers for you, but like I was under an assumption of something and I was wrong. Because I thought like something happened and it didn't. Like the wording, pay attention to the wording of this book.
Mm.
Those little details matter for sure. Then I am going to finish A Treachery of Swans, which again, I'm loving it so much, especially I've been after the Ravenhood. I swear, this is my whole personality. I started taking French lessons on Duolingo, and I just get so pumped whenever it has French in it. And I was like, oh, I know that.
I'm also going to read our December book club book, The Cat of Yule Cottage. I'm assuming you're going to be reading that as well.
Same. Yep. Because I need to.
Yeah, I think it's like little less than 200 pages.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully just a nice, cute Christmas read
Mm-hmm.
about a cat, which love that.
Yeah. I'm more of a dog person, but I can get behind a cat story. I'm finally going to finish The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. And I only didn't finish it because I struggled in November. It was just a really bad reading month for me. So I am enjoying it a lot and I just feel like I wasn't in a good place of reading and I didn't want to be there while reading that book and then
Mm,
go into the next book. Hopefully December will be better. I
yeah.
plan on it.
You can have bad reading months and it's okay.
Yeah.
If you read one book this year, you've read more books than most of the world. I want to finish out my year with Holly by Adeline Grace because it's a little novella off the Belladonna series. The very first book I read in 2025 was Belladonna. I just think it'd be so cute to finish the year with Holly.
It would be so cute. I know we had plans talking about that, but, like, my mood reader.
I've heard mixed reviews about it, so I'm excited to give you my opinion about it.
We're here to listen.
It's a really cool looking book too. I think I've explained like the font is green, it has a lot of illustrations in it and stuff, so I'm
Mm.
super stoked.
She is very excited about this, green font in the book, and it is
It's so
really
cool.
it is cool. It's very pretty. Happy reading for December.
Happy reading.
Yeah.
Enjoy
May
yourself.
may your December be merry and bright.
Mhm.
Hopefully, you don't get a lot of snow, but if you like snow, then I hope you get all the snow.
That way you're snowed in and can read.
I Yes, but I still have to work at home. That sucks. Son, I wanna be a kid again.
Mm.
Snow days, I just didn't appreciate those enough.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Well, happy December.
Happy reading.
Yep.
We'll see you next
See
time.
you next time.
Bye.